Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Śrī Caitanya Jaya Nityānanda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Vande Guru Nisha Bhakta Nisha Nishavatarakan Tat Prakasham Tat Shakti Krishna Chaitanya Sangyakam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityānanda Sahodito Gaur Udaye Pushpavanatau Chitrau Sandau Tamonudau Granthera Arambha Kori Mangala Charana Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tinera Smarana Haya Vigana Vinashana Anayasa Sapal Nija Vanchita Purana Shri Rupa Raghunatha Padayara Asha Caitanya-caritāmṛta Kahe Krishna Dasa Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gaurabani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityaānanda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear worshipful devotees, thank you so much for joining. We are reading Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Adi Lila, chapter 5, the glories of our Nityānanda Balarāma. We read till text number 52, I believe, last time. Reading about the Karunadakshayi Vishnu, which this whole thing from text 49 onwards is basically the expansion or the explanation of text number 1.9 of Adi Lila. So Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is explaining text number 9, which is primarily talking about Mahasankarshana. So we discussed, text 51 and we'll read 52. Vaikuntha Bediya Eka Ache Jala Nidhi Ananta Apara Tara Nahika Avadhi. Translation by Abhijnana Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Surrounding the Vaikuntha is a mass of water that is endless, unfathomed, and unlimited. So what is that mass of water? Who knows? Which is apar. That's the three adjectives are used.
Biraja river.
Biraja river, or the Karunadaka Sagar, often they're basically the same. The endless, unfathomed, unlimited. Three adjectives are used. Jalanidhi is an ocean of water. Jalanidhi, nidhi means ocean. Jala means water. Ananta, no end. Apara, we cannot fathom it. And avadhi, no, nahika avadhi. Avadhi means break or limits. Nahika avadhi, there is no limit to this ocean or this water, mass of water. Let's read more about that. Text 53. Yes, April Pro, want to read?
Thank you, Boji. Harvesting devotees, Danu Pranam, all goes to Śrīla Prabhupada. Text 53. Boikunte Prithibadi Shakala Chinmoy Maik Bhuter Tathi Janmo Nai Hoy. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Śrīla Prabhupada Ki Jai. The earth, water, fire, air, and ether of Vaikuntha are all spiritual. Material elements are not found there. So, spiritual world definitely the Vaikuntha world, and everything is spiritual, but still it looks like it is formed by the earth, water, fire, air, and ether. Back to Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So text 51 and 52 are referring to basically the Karna ocean, which we read 51 last time, we read 52 now. The Karna ocean, the causal ocean, the ocean where the Mahavishnu or Karanodakshai Vishnu lies. And that's all spiritual. That's the intent here. So this water is basically, it's spiritual water. It's not it's not material water. Basically, it's expansion of Lord Vishnu. Text 54. Yes, Bhakti Mataji, you want to read?
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam everyone. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Text 54. Chinmoy jolo সেই পরম কারণ যার এক কণা গঙ্গা পতিত পাবন. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. The water of the Karna ocean, which is the original cause, is therefore spiritual. The sacred Ganges, which is but a drop of it, purifies the fallen soul. So the Karna ocean, where the Karanodakshai Vishnu is sleeping, and definitely it's should be spiritual and transcendental, as Vishnu is there situated, and sacred Ganges, actually the Ganga river is actually, it's a drop of that Karna ocean, and we know that how sacred is the Ganges water, and we use this Ganges water for all the pujas. And when I was like a child, at our house from Ganga is like half an hour walking, and I remember that my parents, my auntie, all goes to take bath in the Ganges in some special occasion, and my auntie goes almost every day to take bath in Ganges at 4 o'clock in the morning before worshipping our Radha Krishna. So I can relate, Prabhuji, that good memories I have still. Back to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So going back to the verse, Chinmaya Jala. Chinmaya means transcendental. This water is not material, it's spiritual. Chit Maya, Chinmaya. When the sandhi happens between Chit and Maya, Chit means it's purely, it's not Jada. It's Chinmaya. Chintamani Prakarasadma Shukalpa Vriksha. In the spiritual world, every tree is spiritual. Every particle of sand is spiritual. So this water is basically spiritual water. Jala means water. Say Paramakarana, the original cause. Yara Eka Karna. Karna means part or tiny drop. In this case, the part of or tiny Eka Karna. On one drop of that, just imagine now. How many of you have been to like Ganga, Rishikesh, Haridwar, or Gangotri, or any of the like northern hills and experienced the huge currents of Ganga? Anyone? Maybe it's worth going.
Gangotri, yeah.
Gangotri, yeah. It's very mighty. The current of Ganga. Now we are in Bhur Mandala, which is much lower in the planetary systems. So we cannot fathom the current of Ganga. It's very huge. Just imagine. There is no like pump flowing Ganga from Gangotri to Bay of Bengal, right? Ganga Sagar. There is no mechanical means which is flowing. It is all by the mighty current of Ganga. She flows all the way, practically the entire north and eastern part of India, one of the biggest rivers. So all that water is in the Bhumandala, and then she comes. Ganga is said to be the only river which flows in all the three planetary systems, upper, middle, and lower. And what she does? Patita Pavana. That Ganga is Patita Pavana. It's a liquid form of God. We have discussed in great detail about Ganga in Canto 5, I believe. A lot of glorification happens in 5 and 6, I think, about Ganga, how Bhagirath and all that, how she came. But then you may also know, so that Ekakana, just imagine, can we now fathom the unfathomable? The word used was unfathomable. Here is the word. Unfathomable. Yeah. Apara. We cannot fathom. When we go into Gangotri or to Haridwar, the current is so huge. So many people, if you don't hold the chain while bathing, because I used to really love going to Haridwar, and whenever I go to India, I certainly try to go there. In my childhood, my father and a lot of holy yatras used to happen in Haridwar. At least once or twice a year we used to go, if not more. So the current is so huge that if you don't hold that chain while bathing, you'll be just swept with the current. Big people are swept, like what to speak of children. So that's the mighty current. And that's only one kana. That's one kana, one tiny fragment of the causal ocean. And this current is also, like the current in Mayapur is pretty less, right? It's not flowing at 50 miles per hour, but over there at Gangotri, it's really flowing very. So the current in the Bhumandala is certainly very low compared to the current up in the upper planets, right? So then this is just the unfathomable spiritual water of the Karana ocean. That's number. And we may have also heard, and look at this beautiful pictures here. When Lord Vamana came, and then in the second step which he was taking, his toenail touched the coverings of the material world, and then this causal water entered in the universe, and that causal water is nothing but Ganga. That spiritual water, that water from the karna of the causal ocean came in the world where we are living, in this Brahmanda, and that water is basically Ganga water, or the causal ocean water, or the current of the ocean water, same thing. So Vamandev pastime also linked here. Okay, so we are at text number. So purifies the fallen souls. What to speak of bathing in Ganga? Even chanting the word Ganga purifies one. But more than that is the teachings of Lord Krishna. There's a beautiful verse in the Glories of Bhagavad-Gita. Anyone knows this? In the Bhagavad-Gita, let me open that. The Gita Mahatmya by Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta. In the Gita Mahatmya, it is said, let's read that verse. Who wants to read this? Yeah. Yes, Vijay Mataji, you can read this.
Bharata mantra Saraswati Vishnu Vakarta Gita Gangadakam Itva Punar Janma Na Vidyate. One who drink the water of the Gangas attain salvation. So what to speak of one who drink the nectar of Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavad-Gita is the essential nectar of the Mahabharata, and it's spoken by Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu Gita Mahatmya. Bhagavad-Gita comes from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Ganga is Bhagavad-Gita comes from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Gangas is said to the emanate from the lotus feet of the Lord. Of course, there is no difference between the mouth and the feet of the Supreme Lord, but personality of Godhead and the Ganga is said the emanate from the lotus feet of the Lord. Of course, there is no difference between the mouth and the feet of the Supreme Lord, but from the impersonal study, we can appreciate the Bhagavad-Gita is even more important than the water of the Gangas.
Isn't that beautiful? Both are coming from the Supreme Lord, one from the feet, one from the mouth. Of course, there is no difference. Krishna is transcendental, but from a relative perspective, the mouth is always given higher importance than the feet, right? Gangare parashar hoile pavana darshane pavitra karo ito mara guna. When one takes the darshan of devotees, one gets purified. To take bath in Ganga, we have to go to Haridwar or Mayapur or Rishikesh and take bath there. Then we get purified. But by seeing a Vaishnava, all the Tirthan, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Vrindavan, Mayapur, Govardhan, Jagannath Puri all come when the saintly, pure devotees come. So this is the greatness of great souls. But yeah, a lot can be said about Ganga, and we all know how important this transcendental water is, which is basically when God appears in liquid form, that's Mata Ganga. Lord Krishna did a lot of pastimes in the river Yamuna, and Ganga Mata was feeling, hey, what's the use of my life? Then he said, okay, I'll come with Lord Chaitanya, and did a lot of pastimes in Mata Ganga in Mayapur. Okay, 55. Who wants to read? Arundhati Mataji, you want to read, please?
Sure. Thank you. So, Pranam to Srila Prabhupada. 55. Shaitu Karanam ho Shai Karuna Sankarsana Apnar Angshe Karin Shayan. Translation: in that ocean lies a plenary ocean of Lord Sankarsana. So in that ocean is Shankar, Lord Shiva is lying there.
Hare Kṛṣṇa Mataji, thank you. So this is referring to Lord Sankarsana, which is Lord Vishnu actually. So this is in that ocean, Karana Arnava. So we have learned a lot of vocabulary words for the ocean. Can anyone tell a few words? How can we address ocean? From the last few weeks, we have been studying multiple words. Synonyms, yeah. Synonyms to address ocean.
Ananta apar, Jalanidhi.
Ananta apar are the adjectives for the Karana ocean, but yeah, Nidhi is one word.
Yes.
Paranidhi. Yes. What else? Chinmay again is the quality, it's transcendental. But here one word comes, Arnava. Arnava also means ocean. Ambudhi. We also read Karana Ambudhi. Ambudha also refers to ocean. So, say tat Karanar Arnave, say Sankarshana. Apanara Eka Amshe Karani Shayana.
Also refers to ocean. So,
yeah, please keep your phones on mute. There's a lot of echo happening. Yeah, when you're not speaking, I think that's better now. So in that ocean lies the plenary portion of Lord Sankarsana, referring to again here the Karanodakshai Vishnu, who is the plenary portion of Lord Sankarsana, or an Amsha of Sankarsana. Amsha means part. Let's see what happens further. Yes. Sushilpa, Mataji, want to read?
I'll try to read. Mahatsrasta Purusa Tinho Jagat Karana Adya Avatara Kare Māyā Ikasana. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada Ki Jai. He is known as the first Purusha, the creator of the total material energy. He, the cause of the universes, the first incarnation, casts his glance over Māyā. So, to what I understand, Prabhupada is explaining about Vishnu, the first, or Krishna, the first Purusha, and the creator of and he is the creator of the total material energy. And he's causes of the universe and the first incarnation. Pretty straightforward, Prabhuji, but you'll explain it very great. Please. Thank you, Hare Kṛṣṇa.
Krishna Mataji, thank you. So we are reading this whole section from text 50 onwards till text 92. Approximately how many verses, Laksha? From 50 to 92, how many verses?
40.
From 50 to 92, 40? 43 to be more precise, right? If we include 50 and 92, it's 43 verses. So in these 43 verses, primarily we are talking about the whom? We're talking about Karanodakshai Vishnu. Where does he lie? In the Karana ocean. We studied that. One more thing about him, we learned that he is a plenary portion of Lord Sankarsana. Okay. Number 3. He is the first Purusha. There are 3 Purushas which we will study later. First is Karanodakshai Vishnu, second is Garbhodakshai, third is Shirodakshai. Okay. He is the creator of total material energy. He is the one who glances, right? God glances over the material, by his glance, everything is created. He is the one who glances. The Supreme Lord in the form of Karanodakshai Vishnu. He is the cause of the universes. Basically, all the material creation comes from him. The spiritual world we have already discussed about Paravyoma. We're talking about now the material creation. He's the one who glances, and he's there are two causes, immediate cause and the remote cause. So he's a remote cause. Immediate cause, one may say, well, Brahmaji creates the universe. Yes, Brahma creates the universe. But who creates Brahma? Right? There is a remote cause. We discussed earlier some examples also, like the power plant and the engineer running the show. And he's the first incarnation of Sankarsana, and he casts his glance. So some qualities about Karunadak Vishnu. 57. Yes, Lakshay, Prabhu, you want to read?
Yes, Prabhu. Text 57. Māyā Shakti Rahe Karana Vidira Bahire Karana Samudra Māyā Parishayte Nare. Translation: Māyā Shakti resides outside the Karna ocean. Māyā cannot touch its waters. Hare Kṛṣṇa, Prabhuji.
Very good. Thank you, Prabhu. So, quite straightforward. We discussed that in this ocean is basically like spiritual, completely spiritual. Everything is spiritual. Earth, water, fire, air, everything is spiritual here. There is nothing material here. So nothing material or Maya, Shakti, material energy cannot touch this water. 58. Anjali, Priya, you want to read?
Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Text 58. Seita Māyā Dui Vidha Avasthithi Jagatera Upadana Pradhāna Prakriti. Translation: Maya has two varieties of existence. One is called Pradhāna or Prakriti. It supplies the ingredients of the material world. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Maya, the external energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is divided into two parts. Maya is both the cause of the cosmic manifestation and the agent who supplies its ingredients. As the cause of the cosmic manifestation, she is known as Maya, and as the agent supplying the ingredients of the cosmic manifestation, she is known as Pradhāna. An explicit description of these divisions of the external energy is given in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11:24, 1-4, elsewhere in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10:63-26. The ingredients and cause of the material cosmic manifestation are described as follows. Kalo Devam Karma Jiva Sabhavo Dravyam Kshetram Prana Atma Vikaraha Tatsanghato Bijaroho Pravahas Tvanmayesha Tannishedham Prapadye. O my Lord, time, activity, providence, and nature are four parts of the causal aspect, Maya, of the external energy. The conditioned vital force, the subtle material ingredients called the dravya, and the material nature, which is the field of activity where the false ego acts as the soul, as well as the 11 senses and 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, which are the 16 ingredients of the body. These are the ingredient aspect of Maya. The body is generated from activity, and activity is generated from the body. Just as a tree is generated from a seed that is generated from a tree. This reciprocal cause and effect is called Maya. My dear Lord, you can save me from the cycle of cause and effect. I worship your lotus feet. Although the living entity is primarily related to the causal portion of Maya, he is nevertheless conducted by the ingredients of Maya. 3 forces work in the causal portion of Maya: knowledge, desire, and activity. The material ingredients are a manifestation of Māyā as Pradhāna. In other words, when the three qualities of Māyā are in a dominant stage, they exist as Prakriti, Avyakt, or Pradhāna. The word Avyakta, referring to the non-manifestated, is another form of Pradhāna. In the Avyakta stage, material nature is without varieties. Varieties are manifested by the Pradhāna portion of Māyā. The word Pradhāna is therefore more important than Avyakt or Prakriti. Thank you. Back to you.
A lot of technical terms here. Anyone wants to elaborate? Anyone wants to? Let's see what you understood from here.
Isn't it, Prabhuji? Māyā is the Māyā causes us to do all kinds of different things because we are attached with the material objects, or it is very hard to detach to our loved ones or all that. We always say, oh, what should I do for my son? Even though, he's getting old, still you think, but you need to get out of that. When you separate yourself from the Māyā, detach yourself from there, you going towards the spiritual world more, because you are relating towards the God more than materialistic world. That's what I think. I don't know. I may not be right.
I know something I thought would be helpful, a chart which I made long back. I don't recall where it is, but I'll try to locate it before our next class. So, Māyā Shakti outside the Karana ocean, that's very clear, has two varieties of existence, right? What are the two varieties or two parts? Pradhāna. Cause, yes. Cause and ingredients. Ingredients. So what are the ingredients? There are 24 elements, correct? Who knows the 24 elements? That are also called Dravya here. Everyone knows? No? Yes? Okay, people probably will tell.
So, elements.
Somehow your voice is like breaking. You're not able to clearly
and
hear.
Then elements. Then your voice is like breaking.
It's not very clear, bro. Okay, I'll try. There are 5.
I'm far from that. Probably my box internet is down.
Probably. The 5, the Panchabhutas, everyone knows. Earth, water, fire, air, ether. They're called the Tanmatras, or the 5 the Panchabhutas. Right? Then there are 5 senses. Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, and Karmendriya. So earth, water, fire, air, ether. Then the 5 senses. Eyes, nose, tongue, ears, and skin. Right? Eyes, nose, ears, skin, and tongue. From eyes, then the next 5. What the 5 elements, or the 5 like the sense perceptions. From eyes we see, from ears we hear, from nose we smell, the sense of smell, the sense of taste, and the sense of touch. Right? This makes it how many? 15. Then
Working.
The Karmendriya, right? Hands, legs, action senses, hands,
Voice,
mouth, and then genitals and
arms, hands.
yeah. So these 5, rectum, anus.
20. Then 5.
Mind, intelligence, ego.
33. 3.
Mind, intelligence, and ego. And then at some places, time is also mentioned. And in certain places, the soul is also mentioned, which makes it 24 and 25. These 24, certain places 25 elements are basically the mention of these. This is basically Pradhāna. Or the vital force. So everything is basically in the material world a manifestation of these, right? Everything is manifestation of this. So this is the Pradhāna part, or the ingredients. The cause of the cosmic manifestation is known as Māyā, and as the agent supplying the ingredients of the cosmic manifestation, she is known as Pradhāna. Just consider it very simple. Like sometimes you get vegetables for cooking from your backyard. Different, whatever, aloo and potatoes and bhindi and whatnot. And then you are making it also, right? You are cooking. That's a very mundane example of understanding. So she's the one who provides all the ingredients, and she's the one who is the cause. Devi Esha Gunamai Mam Māyā Duratya. In the Brahma Samhita also it's mentioned that Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka. So that Maya Shakti is the in charge of this Durga, or the material world. Okay. Pradhāna or Prakriti are used here. Any other comment here besides what we have discussed? Let's read a little bit more technical words if you are interested. Upadana karana, upadana, 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 named Pradhāna. So there are 2 karans. One is the Upadana Karan, and the second Māyā is Nimitta Karana. Nimitta Karana. So nimitta karan is the immediate cause. As Krishna says, nimitta matra bhava sabyasachi. Krishna, you become a nimitta. Who is the ultimate doer? Krishna is the ultimate doer. But you become a immediate doer. Basically, Krishna was fighting in the battle of Kurukshetra. Yes or no? He was fighting through the nimitta of Arjuna. Right? Because ultimately Krishna said, ultimately all these will be killed. That's decided. But Arjuna, you become the nimitta. You become the immediate cause. What's the remote cause? The Supreme Lord. So here, the nimitta cause is the second aspect of Māyā, that she does the creation. And the Upadana Karana is the ingredients, the ingredient cause of the world. So Upadana Karana and Nimitta Karana, two types of Karanas are shared. Dui vidha, Dui means two, Vidha means varieties. The two varieties are Upadana Karan, the ingredients, and Nimitta Karan, the one who moves all the ingredients, is also Māyā. Is it too complex or all good?
So Prabhuji, so Upadan Karan and Nimitta Karan both are controlled by Māyā, right?
Both are basically, both are varieties of Māyā. Both are varieties of Māyā.
And
Māyā has two varieties of existence.
And okay, so and both the categories are under Pradhāna.
No, Pradhāna is one category, and the word Nimitta Karan, also called here Māyā, is the second category.
Second. So Prakriti, it's under Prakriti.
So word Prakriti and Pradhāna is interchangeably used here.
So Prakriti is unmanifested. The word above.
So Prakriti, unmanifested, Avyakta, and Pradhan, these are interchangeable words. Right, Prabhuji?
Yes, and then when they come into the manifested state, it's called Mahatattva, which we have learned in the Bhagavatam.
Prabhuji, can you please repeat when it's turned to manifested form, what it's called?
Yeah, let me open. The word Mahatattva is used multiple times. To exact reference. Krishna. Mahatattva is a very technical subject, Mahatattva and Pradhāna, the difference. But one is the manifested state and one is the unmanifested state. It's like, just think about like the one is like the ingredients are in the total, they're in the non-manifest, like the cement, like just imagine like things required to make a home, right? Cement, wood, water, etc., right? They're in the unmanifested state, let's say at Home Depot, correct? They're there, all the things required to make a home are there, but the home is not yet manifested. But when the designer, a planner, and laborers, they all come together, they mix things, they put together things in a design pattern, then they manifest the home that is manifested from those ingredients. That's the, I'll get some more details on that.
So Pradhāna is measure or prime?
Pradhāna is? Measure. I'm not sure how that word came. Pradhāna is basically the sum of all the ingredients. Pradhāna, Prakriti, Avyakta state. Pradhāna. Let's see what Prabhupada says about Pradhāna. We can actually read this, as Prabhupada is referring here, if I guess all of us are interested to read a little bit more on this sum and substance. So why don't we read the thing which is referred here. This is from Canto 4. Explicit description of these divisions is, let's go to 11.24. Sankhya Yoga, because these are like analytical. Sankhya means analytical. This is Sankhya Yoga. Let's read the translation. Now, Hare Kṛṣṇa is saying, I shall describe to you the science of Sankhya, which has been perfectly established by the ancient authorities. By understanding the science, a person can immediately give up the illusion of material duality. So Lord Krishna is going to explain that. Who wants to read this? Anyone wants to read? Yes, Vasudhimati, you can read. The translation for this word.
Translation. Originally, during the Krita Yuga, when all men were very expert in spiritual discrimination, and also previous to that, during the period of annihilation, the sphere existed alone, non-different from the seen object. Will I read the part?
Okay, that's a small purport we can read.
Krita Yuga is the first stage, also known as Satya Yuga, in which knowledge, being perfect, is non-different from its object. In modern society, knowledge is highly speculative and constantly changing. There is often a vast difference between people's theoretical ideas and actual reality. In Satya Yuga, however, people are Viveka Nipuna, or expert in intelligent discrimination, and thus there is no difference between their vision and reality. In Satya Yuga, the population in general is self-realized, seeing everything as the potency of the Supreme Lord. They do not artificially create duality between themselves and other living entities. This is a further aspect. Sorry. This is a further aspect of the oneness of Satya Yuga. At the time of annihilation, everything merges to rest within the Lord. And at that time, also, there is no difference between the Lord, who becomes the only seer, and the objects of knowledge which are contained within the Lord. The liberated living entities in the eternal spiritual world are never subject to such merging but remain forever undisturbed in their spiritual forms, because they are voluntarily one with the Lord in love. Their abode is never annihilated. Back to
Clear. Right, Mataji, everything clear?
So, Prabhuji, what it's not very clear, but what so here in Satya Yuga, so it's a kind of constant and never changes. That what it says within the Lord is. Sorry, Prabhuji, if you please explain.
Basically, Sankhya Yoga in the previous, actually the fourth verse is most relevant here, which, and I think what we mentioned earlier, Prakriti here refers to subtle Pradhāna, which later manifests as Mahatattva. Therefore, Sankhya Yoga is very complicated, right? Therefore, Krishna says, Sarvadharman Parityaja. Bhakti Yoga is simple, easy to understand. Patanam Pushpam Phalam Toyam. Offer fruit, water, leaf, take shelter of Krishna, chant the holy names, and go back to Godhead. Very simple. This is text number 4 in the same series of the 2 categories of manifestations of the material world, which embodies both the subtle and the manifest products of the matter, subtle causes. The other is the conscious living entity designated as the enjoyer. So Prakriti here refers to subtle Pradhāna, which later manifests as Mahat Tattva. So the example of the manifested state and the unmanifested state. So Pradhāna, Prakriti in the unmanifested, or the subtle state. Subtle Pradhāna is Prakriti. To avoid confusion, you can use it interchangeably and then later manifest as Mahat Tattva. And as we know that ultimately everyone goes back in the body of the Supreme Karunakshay Vishnu. We all know that at the time of annihilation, the partial annihilation, and in the body of Garbhodakshay Vishnu and at the time of tiny annihilation. So, and then when he glances again, then material energy Māyā starts to begin her work, starts to employ her energies, and then the creation is created. That's just to keep things simple. We can understand that ultimately, and Krishna is the original cause of all causes.
So Prabhuji, so Prakriti, Pradhāna, like what we are now, we are under that. And when during the annihilation, we'll go to the Mahatattva, right?
Actually, let's read, maybe not today, but there are the following verses which I'm kind of glancing over. We will read and then it will get us better understanding. Okay, I know it's already 9 p.m. Not a very good time to discuss technical Siddhanta, which is highly complicated. So take rest, and in the morning you can hear some class from some senior Vaishnavas in ISKCON, and also read a little bit more, and then tomorrow we'll discuss this topic again. So we'll pause here. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta ki jai, Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Thank you. We'll continue our study about this tomorrow. Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.